Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 16 of What If Naruto Was half Kryptonian and half Saiyan. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Sharingan and Byakugan fuse into a new dojutsu, and enjoy that guys. And also remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, yes, I indeed have 3 channels: Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day. Yes, you heard that correctly, every single day, for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification so you can see exactly when and where I post guys. So yeah, without further ado, so we leap right into this new episode. Begin the intro. So the last spot we left off, the group had just successfully passed through the first part of the tests, and now they were moving on to the second phase of the exam. As they arrive, as Naruto did not find the force of death that threatening, causing Anko to throw a kunai towards him, but he simply blurred away behind her before she could even sunshine behind him, shocking her by his speed. It was then that she realized who it was. It was a kid that Yujito told her about. After all, Yujito was one of her friends. She then went on to explain the test that they currently had to do at the moment. They had to embark in the forest of death. They had 5 days to get their scroll. If they fail to do so, they will fail the exams. Those with that team, if they lose a member, they will fail. As Naruto did not have a team, but he felt eyes upon him. The group from Kumo was watching him rather intently. Well, the guy in the group was, as he did not see what was the big interest in this kid, to have a 50 million bounty on his head already, as Raiden believed that he could defeat Naruto. So with that, the force of death started up. The moment Naruto got in there, after about a good half an hour, he was ambushed by a team. He played along with their little shenanigans before. He just simply slapped all of them away like they were nothing. He then proceeded to continue to move as he got a scroll, as he decided to explore and see what the other teams were up to, because it would be rather boring to just get out of here that quickly. That is when a girl slammed into him, almost toppling herself over as she collapsed on the ground. She had tears in her eyes as she was afraid of the sand that grabbed Naruto the next moment. Gaara was smiling from ear to ear. He was after his prey, and it turns out that he found a bigger one. As he then brought his hand together, Temari, she was about to tell him to stop. She didn't know why, as Gaara was her brother and her teammate, yet she wanted to protect Naruto as she saw that he was gonna die. However, he simply smiled as his hand squeezed him, but it cannot crush him. Gaara was confused. He kept on clenching his fist over and over, but it didn't matter what he did. He just could not crush Naruto. As Naruto proceeded to tear the sand off, as he wouldn't fight them now, it would be bad to eliminate Temari that easily. After all, if one of her teammates were out, the whole team was out. Although he had a bone to pick with Gaara as well, the kid was getting on his nerves. Meanwhile, Team 7 was facing their toughest challenge yet, as Orochimaru had snuck into the forest and was clashing rather vigorously against Team 7. They were going at it rather hard. Orochimaru realized that Sakura was one of those special children as well to be affected by the green shards. She could produce rapid sound wave from her mouth that rather destroyed the area. However, she realized they couldn't beat this guy. She held her head to the sky and she screamed out Naruto's name, knowing that he would hear her. Orochimaru thought that she was a fool, for bam, he was thrown away as Sakura was caught by Naruto. As Naruto arrived there, he was pissed off. Judging by the green cloak already flickering around him, Orochimaru was confused. He wondered what kind of engine was this. As Naruto placed them all together before, he turned his sights on the snake freak. He then proceeded to hack away at the man. Orochimaru was stunned as he couldn't believe that this mere child forced him to shed his skin. However, he drove his sword directly through Naruto. As Naruto was shocked, speechless, the sword had pierced right through him. As he realized what was his problem though, the green rocks as Orochimaru further used that to cause him more pain. But despite that, Naruto heard a voice in his head that told him that he was still a Saiyan. As Naruto's fist cracked Orochimaru's chin, driving him away. But he collapsed afterwards. The snake suddenly decided to flee, as he had already marked Sasuke with that seal. With that, Naruto turned his sights upon Team 7 as he brought them all together. As he had a right big wound in his stomach, he lowered the intensity of his laser vision as he burned it together, cauterizing the wound so that he could at least move through the forest. When Sakura woke up, she was in her room as the medic told her that Naruto had brought all of them here. Luckily, they had got their scroll earlier though. As he was wounded, Sakura was shocked when she heard that. Naruto wounded? Tsunade was furious. She wanted to go out there to tear apart the forest, but she had to be here for her son to make sure he was alright. Never has she saw something hurt him before like this, so she was quite shocked at that. As Hiruzen was quite surprised as well. But it turns out that green shard, whatever it was that Orochimaru had, can hurt Naruto. However, it didn't seem to deter Naruto. He wanted to find the snake and rip him apart for what he did. A few days passed as the preliminaries came around. Kushina and Sasuke and Kakashi had moved off. They sealed away the curse mark on his neck, so it would not be bothering him throughout the time that he would be spending here throughout the exams. As Sasuke was the first one to be called after Kabuto had given up, Sasuke faced off against Iori. Iori wasn't that much powerful, and not to mention, from the training that Sasuke was given, well, especially Kushina part, Sasuke dominated the fight rather easily and put Iori in his place. The next name was to be called was Naruto versus the Kumo guy. Ray didn't actually believe that he could hurt Naruto, but Naruto showed him that when it come time to skill and power and strength, he was far below him as Naruto knocked him out rather easily. It was as he was walking by the Kumo team he also felt a strange sensation from that girl, the blonde with the two ponytails going down. It was the same feeling like what he felt in the forest. Tsunade was happy that Naruto was not deterred. After all, for his whole life, he has never actually been hurt that badly. So she was glad that he did not put a mental scar on his psyche to know that he can be hurt by something out there. He was fine. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across the playthrough of yourself, so we leap right into the new episode guys. The preliminaries had just come to an end. The fights weren't really that epic because no one was actually fighting all out here. Or if they were on the losing side. The finals were set, and they went like this. The first match will be Sakura Haruno versus Temari. Sakura had dominated the fight between her and Zaku. He believed his sound waves were much powerful than hers, but she proved him wrong. How he was dead wrong when she blasted him into the wall. He stood no chance. It wasn't her voice alone that made her powerful. Whatever that green shard did to her chakra, it mutated her entire system. Sakura was rather durable for her age, and not to mention she had this freaky strength that Tsunade started to take notice of. She'll be facing off against Temari in the finals. The next match after that was Samui, who had dominated her match. She'll be facing off against Mito Uzumaki, who also came through with a record winning time. But Samui was a tough opponent. The girl was rather serious, or if she was not, her face was just set in a serious way. And she was a whiz with a blade. Mito would have to put in some training for the month, but still she was confident enough in herself that she had this. The third match will be Naruto Senju versus Yujito off the cloud. Yujito had dominated her match just as Naruto with her teammates, and now the both of them were set to fight each other. She seemed to be excited about that. She wanted to test him for herself. Her teammate had been humiliated by him in a way, seeing that Naruto had knocked him out rather easily. The fourth match would be Sasuke versus Gaara. Gaara seemed to enjoy that fact. For anything else, Naruto was close to Sasuke, and Gaara was gonna enjoy killing him just to prove a point. Shino would be facing off against those two afterwards. Moving on to Neji facing off against Kankuro. And thus was the finals that were set for the final round of the Chunin exams. Hiruzen announced them as he dismissed them all. They all had 1 month to train, 1 month to get stronger and learn new moves, seeing that most of their opponent here saw what they could do. But everyone was ready. Everyone was eager to see what awaited them. Time skip. A few days later, the 15-year-old Zoom is silver hair whipping from left to right. As he came to a stop, he was surprised. Lord Orochimaru, he said, "Zoom, I have a mission for you." He raised his head up. "What is it?" "It shall be completed. This is an assassination mission. You cannot be spotted or captured. I want someone dead." "Who is it, Master?" "His name is Naruto Senju, the son of Tsunade Senju." "Where is he?" "At Konoha. Due to my recent invasion plans, I fear that this boy would be a threat in those plans." Zoom eyes hardened. "I will eliminate any threat to you, my lord," he said. As Orochimaru smiled as he pulled out a photograph. As he handed it to Zoom. "This is him. If I'm not mistaken, is he the one that they call Superboy?" "Exactly. I want this done clean and professionally. As I said, you're not to be spotted or captured by any Konoha ninja. As if they can capture me," said Zoom. "And that is what I like," Orochimaru said as he smirked. "I want you to stalk him within Konoha until there's a right place without anyone's around. But you will need these." Orochimaru pulled out something as Zoom watched. It was gloves. They had green gems on them. Zoom placed them on as he looked at them confused. "Why do I need this?" "Just apply chakra to it." Zoom did as he was told as the green gems spiked out. Long wicked spikes. "I'm afraid that this is the only thing that can seem to pierce his skin. He's quite special like you. But before you kill him, I need some of his blood." As Orochimaru handed him a beaker. "Remember, do not be spotted. And make sure you kill him." "Understood, my lord," said Zoom. "Well, get to it. I expect you to return before my plan begins." Zoom nodded as he made his way off. As Orochimaru watched him. The child would be a problem for the invasion. He was too ridiculously strong. And Orochimaru didn't want to mess up his plans. He needed for Gaara to successfully transform and decimate a half of Konoha population before he was stopped. With this child being there, he was having some bad feelings, that is why. It was better that Zoom killed him right here and now. Zoom was one of his best subjects so far. He had found the child. His parents had been killed a long time ago. His mother and father told him to run before one of those meteors had hit him rather badly. He did not remember his past or anything. He hit his head rather nasty. So Orochimaru recreated him and gave him a new identity. Over the years though, his memories started to return. However, he was already Zoom, loyal follower and subject of Orochimaru. Orochimaru people either fear him or they respect him, or they completely devote themselves and love him. That is why Orochimaru managed to stay in control. He did these things to people to make sure that they worship the very ground that he walked on. But Zoom was not the only one. However, Orochimaru had each DNA of the special children and the people that he found locked away until he break the fabric of what exactly the green gem does to people. Once he do, he will proceed to give himself all of those abilities and turn himself into true perfection. It would be such amazing, but yet he didn't have the complete estimate on the gems yet. However, once Konoha fell, he would have more and more people to do his sick twisted experiments on. And not to mention, while the Sound Ninjas were good enough, Konoha ninjas have excellent and different breed of chakra. So he will see how the gem react to their chakra. All of this was for his research. Well, he couldn't lie. He also wanted Konoha to burn, but that was just a personal taste. As he licked his lips and made his way off, he had no doubt that Zoom would accomplish his task. Naruto might be strong, but Zoom was fast. Let's see which one wins, speed or strength. But Orochimaru was making a big mistake because Naruto wasn't only strong, that was a mistake that he made. Time skip. A few days later, the prospect Chunins were currently training. Sasuke was taken, Kakashi had took him to train. Mito was taken by Jiraiya, as he was going to make her become the next Toad Summoner, and her mother was helping her regarding her Fuinjutsu. As for Sakura, Tsunade interest was peak in the girl's strength. She always knew that she was strong, but she wondered if Sakura could do what Shizune could not, learn her super strength technique. As for Naruto, he had went back to his biological mother. The ship had scanned his body. He was still nowhere near to his full potential. Not to mention she told him that she didn't believe that those were all of his abilities that he would gain. His Saiyan side was still an anomaly with this. Never before has a Saiyan, Kryptonian child been born, so even she was unaware of all of this. Naruto has not yet used a gem to see his father. He didn't know why, but he felt a bit nervous there. Having grown up with Tsunade, he had a mother at his side always. He never really thought about the father, but this just... And also, he didn't have a place to put it. His biological mother told him that it would have to be somewhere secure and somewhere large as well. Although, once the fortress came together, she doubted any other people could enter without his permission. But still, it had to be somewhere large. And Naruto didn't want it to be placed in Konoha, so he had to find a place for it. At the moment though, Naruto was climbing up the Hokage's monument. There were at least 20 thick ropes tied around his waist and his legs. On each of those ropes were a massive boulder that could crush any normal Jonin. However, Naruto was using one arm as he was sweating. As he pulled himself up, his other arm was tied with many other ropes with boulders dangling down as he climbed. But, however, the pressure was too much as he broke the ledge. He then started to fall. Oh shit, he said, as he reached out and tried to grab onto anything, but he just could not reach it in time. Something weird happened. For a moment there he felt like he was floating. Until boom! He crashed hard his body, breaking all the boulders as he crashed into them. It didn't take long for Anvus to arrive to his position, as they thought that the village was being attacked. When they realized it was him though, they merely returned back to their duty. Naruto popped the ropes like they were nothing but sticks, even though they were that thick and able to hold up meters like that. Well, not meters, but giant boulders. Did that really just happen, he thought to himself. He glanced up towards the top of the cliff. Before he jumped, he was able to jump and level it in one high jump as he landed on top of the fourth Hokage's head. He then proceeded to leap upwards as he flapped his hands like a bird. However, he was causing an air friction. The wind pressure that generated from his arms caused him to flew straight up. But when he stopped, he realized he wasn't actually flying. Instead, he was just flapping his arms super fast. He spun in mid-air. He spun so fast that he created a quick building tornado. As he stood in the center of said tornado, keep on spinning around as it carried him over towards the bushy section of the monument behind it. As he decimated the trees as he moved, he leaped out of said tornado as he tried to fly once again. However, he crashed face first. Damn it, he got back to his feet as he ran and leaped off. He felt himself floating in air for a few seconds as he pushed. He pushed, only for him to crash to another tree rather hard. Naruto picked himself up with a laugh. It seems like he can fly. However, he just had to get the drift of it. After all, when he first got his super hearing, he thought that he was going mad because he was hearing voices and it was hard to concentrate. Same for his X-ray vision. At first it just flipped in and out, and his heat vision was the worst. He almost burned his entire house down when he first got them. So maybe he just need to practice with the flying thing. That was BAM! Naruto was snapped from his thoughts as a fist collided with his face. The fist threw him as he crashed through several trees before he came to a rough stop. Naruto groaned as he felt something dripping off his face. He touched his face and he saw blood. For the third time he was bleeding. First was a war beast. Next with Orochimaru, and now, what the hell just hit him? Once again, whoosh! Naruto was slugged across the face. Zoom was moving rather fast. He hadn't activated spikes, just using the raw gems that were on the gloves. He appeared in front of Naruto and delivered several punches in the span of just a second. Before Naruto was knocked off his feet, Zoom grabbed his leg and smashed him into the ground. He had read the bingo book, and this guy was said to be untouchable, unbreakable, some kind of steel wall, but it seems that the bingo book was wrong. Zoom gripped Naruto by the throat and ran, tearing Naruto's face through the ground, before he flipped him over and slammed him down and flashed away once again. A pissed off Naruto lifted up his head. Beams exploded out of his eyes as he started to rip apart everything around him, quite frustrated. She might not be his real mother, but she might as well be with the temper that he got from her sometime. All of the trees were leveled and destroyed. The Anvus thought that Naruto was training once again, as they saw the beams on top of the Hokage's monument, far behind it, so they did not want to intervene. He has trained like this several times before. Zoom had managed to bypass all of them, as he flashed and hit Naruto in the stomach. As Naruto realized that the weak sensation was there, whoever this was they were using that green gem, could it be? As Naruto waited before, he drive his fist into the earth, cracking everything around him, causing Zoom feet to, well, lose his balance, and he crashed right in front of Naruto. Zoom eyes went wide as he looked up, as Naruto's glowing red eyes were looking down towards him. Naruto reached down, but Zoom whipped past Naruto's hand. The spikes elongated and stabbed through Naruto's palm as he cried out in pain. Zoom then proceeded to stab him right in the stomach with the other one as Naruto staggered back. Zoom then reached for the capsule behind him to take Naruto's blood, only for Naruto's feet to make contact with his chin. His body was sent sailing faster than he has ever gone before, as he crashed through several trees, the broken ones to be exact. Naruto dropped to his knees as he coughed up blood, but he slowly rose to his feet. This thing might make him weak, but they did not turn him defenseless. That was due to his saying inside that he spoke to his mother about his biological mother. It seems that the shards of his old planet, Krypton, had a negative effect on his body. However, because of his Saiyan biology, they did not completely render him useless, so he could still fight, but they did wound him and cause him a bit of pain. They were the only things that would be able to wound him as he grew, because he was still not at his full potential yet. As Naruto rushed over, he raised his hand to clobber the person into the ground, but Zoom turned over and rushed away as Naruto's hand hit the ground and break it apart. Zoom got back to his feet as he stood a few feet away from Naruto, the spikes elongated from the gloves. "Hey, where did you get that?" said Naruto. "None of your business," said Zoom. Although, as he spat at teeth and a few blood out of his mouth, "It seems you're as strong as they say." "You mistaken," said Naruto. "I held back on purpose because I want to know exactly who you are. Coming in here and attacking me, that's your first mistake. I suggest that you surrender right now and tell me who you are. Otherwise, I'll break you." Zoom chuckled at that. "Well, for one thing, I'm too fast for you to break. Let me show you why." Zoom picked up speed. Zoom was shocked when Naruto's eyes saw him. What the hell? So shocked that he didn't even pay attention, tripping over one of the breaking trees as he crashed hard. Zoom got to his feet. Did you just see me?" "Of course I did," said Naruto. "You're not that fast." Zoom frowned at that. "You're a brat. You're not even my age and you're telling me that you can see me. You're not even an elite shinobi or someone special. Why can you see me? I'm supposed to be the fastest." "Well, frankly you're not right now," said Naruto. "But I wonder though, did you get your abilities from that green rock as well? But that wouldn't explain why you're here to kill me. And how would you know that hurt me?" You Are you working for Orochimaru? Naruto asks. Well, you figured that out rather quickly. But it doesn't matter. I'm afraid despite being able to see me, you're not fast enough to keep up. That is why I'm gonna kill you, said Zoom. Naruto slapped his hands together, creating a high-pressure wave. Zoom's eyes went wide as he was blown away and crashed. As Naruto appeared above him, Zoom moved as Naruto cracked the ground once again. Zoom appeared and slashed through Naruto's back, causing blood to spray on the ground. He then appeared and slashed Naruto's chest, slashed him on the arm, as Naruto spun, creating a massive tornado. Before he blew it outwards, Zoom was thrown, but this time, Naruto grabbed his leg and proceeded to bash his face into the ground. 1, 2. He continued to bash Zoom over and over again, until he turned and launched him out of the village. Zoom's eyes went wide as he was sent sailing. The green gems, kryptonites, they made a natural human body durable. But unlike Naruto, who was a real Kryptonian, others had to use their chakra. While it didn't cost much because Sakura, she sent chakra to her throat. But it didn't take as much as to use the technique of a normal ninjutsu. Same for Zoom. He had to have the chakra flowing through his body to use his super speed. However, it didn't cost him much for a normal jutsu. But he never really focused on jutsus because of his speed. Just his strength to keep up, and not to mention his speed. But this was not in his favor as he crashed hard. Only for Naruto to appear and grab his arms as he ripped off the gloves. He then tossed them up in the air before his laser beams came out and tore them apart. He then turned his attention back towards Zoom, who had got back to his feet and moved away. Zoom frowned as he rushed back towards Naruto. Bam! His fist made contact with Naruto's face. Naruto did not even budge. Zoom then proceeded to assault Naruto from all sides. But his fists were not doing that much. As Naruto took in a deep breath before he exhaled, the gust blowing Zoom away. This time Naruto gripped him by the throat and slammed him into a tree. The tree breaking under the force as Zoom coughed up blood. Now, answer me. Where is Orochimaru? Zoom struggled as his hands started to vibrate rapidly. As he started to vibrate at intense rates. Let go of me, he yelled. Something strange and happened. He slipped through Naruto's hand as he dropped on the ground. He looked rather shocked. How did you... Zoom flashed away as he rushed towards the other edge. As he was panting, blood dripping from his mouth. This is not over, he said. I'll get you for this. As Naruto rushed after him, but Zoom leaped off, jumping down the cannon as he zoomed off, rushing as fast as possible to get away from here. Time skip. Orochimaru was in his lab as Zoom rushed inside, blowing up the papers. How many times did I told you to not... Sorry. Orochimaru turned as he saw Zoom collapse, his eyes widening in shock. Zoom was messed up badly. The marks were on his throat, blood on his lip. Yeah, he was messed up badly. Maybe it wasn't a good idea to send him to Konoha. However, Orochimaru thought that he would not fail. He would have to have some talk with him after he was healed up. Did the Senju child really did this to him? Or did he come across a bunch of Konoha ninjas? Orochimaru need to know. Because the more time go on, the more that child, seeming like he was going to be a hazard to his plans, and he would ruin everything. As Orochimaru really had to know as he picked up the child, and brought him so that Kabuto could make sure that he was alright. As he frowned angrily, he never expected him to return like this. Time skip. Naruto was in a nearby lake. As he was not going to tell his mother about this. If he did, it would only serve to piss her off, and especially after what he just did. This guy was no doubt running back to Orochimaru. He didn't want his mother to be the head target for Orochimaru. Let them come after him, he can take it. He would crush all of them under his palm. The next time, there would be no hesitation. He would make sure that they weren't a threat to Konoha anymore. However, his shirt got torn up rather badly. But he will get these bastards for this. They would definitely show themselves once again. As he glanced up towards the sun in the sky. Always there, always just watching over him, giving him this warm, wonderful sensation as he smiled to himself. His wounds were healing as he washed away the blood. Time skip. The month of training had went by rather fruitfully for Moose. For Mito, she had learned how to summon toads, and not to mention some of her father better techniques as well. And her mother had upped her training regarding Fuinjutsu, which she was taking to rather well. As the time went on, she was becoming a prominent kunoichi. But 1 month wasn't that long for Sakura as well, because she was learning Tsunade super strength technique, but 1 month wasn't that long to learn everything. And the girl had pristine chakra control. Tsunade was also teaching her medical ninjutsu. As for Sasuke, having Kushina in his life mostly, allow her to bring a few of the Uchiha scrolls that were in his compound, which she teach him in. Although she didn't possess a fire affinity, she was a wonderful teacher. So he knew more than he would know if he didn't have a teacher growing up early. She had been like a second mother to him, and he could feel himself growing stronger and stronger. He had not forgotten about his brother, what he did. Sasuke still had a full intention of taking revenge for what his brother did to him, taking away from him. But he had to get stronger first, because he realized if he couldn't beat any Jonin of this village, he could not stand a chance against Itachi Uchiha. Furthermore, Kabuto Yakushi, apprentice of Orochimaru, he wanted to come to Konoha to speak to Baki, but they decided to have the conversation elsewhere. There was just too much going on in Konoha right now, as Orochimaru had filled him in about what happened to Zoom. The child was defeated rather soundly, as Orochimaru never expected him to lose like that. But still, 1 month was enough time for him to heal up. But this time Zoom came back with a vengeance in his eyes, as he was going to be a part of the invasion, as he was coming directly after Naruto, this time with a bit of help. The green rocks did not affect him, however they did affect Naruto very much, and Orochimaru had plenty of them, considering that it was the only thing that could pierce the kid's skin. At the moment though, Naruto was fast asleep, as he was once again stuck in that strange world of his, where he saw his two counterparts. One of them had green hair. Naruto still could not see his face. He had green hair and he wasn't wearing a shirt, just pants. He was fighting the other one that was wearing blue and red. He had black hair. His eyes were red as well, as he was firing laser beams. Both men were fighting so bad that they started to change the atmosphere, literally creating an eerie shockwave. Their power was just something else. It just seemed like they kept on fighting, as Naruto wondered if this was some representation of his power, his Saiyan side and his Kryptonian side. But why was his Saiyan side here green? He's gonna need to have to find a place first soon to speak to his father, because he needs to understand more about himself and what kind of Saiyan he was. Because whenever he got so angry, he could feel the amount of power rising inside of him, and he felt like he hasn't even reached his peak yet, like he was nowhere close regarding being a Saiyan, as he needed to learn more what exactly was a Saiyan. However, the Chunin exam finals were coming up. Unknown to Naruto, this will be a life-changing event that will change many things for him. Yes, it will. Time skip. The Raikage had arrived in Konoha yesterday. He was given lodgings at the hotel. He had arrived with two of his guards, one of them being a muscular man just like him. Instead, he was wearing shades. He had a tattoo on his arm, and he was also talking funny. No, he wasn't talking, he was rapping. He seemed to know Yujito quite well, but they all cursed about his rapping though. The Raikage seemed to be disappointed in the only member that failed. However, Samui and Yujito would have to take the exam by a storm though. It wasn't just the Raikage either. The Kazekage also arrived, as he was wearing a veil. Tomorrow was the exams, and everyone was eager to see the exams. The Fire Daimyo granddaughter was here as well, as she wanted to see the so-called Superboy. But it was not just her alone, there was many coming from far and wide to see the son of Tsunade Senju, Naruto Senju. He was all the big hype. Him, the last Uchiha within Konoha, and the daughter of Minato no Mikaze, and not to mention the Hyuga prodigy. This was gonna be quite this spectacular show. The day finally came around as the place was ran-packed. People even had to stand. The seats were filled. There were so much people here to watch the exam take part. There was also ninjas from other nations dressed as civilians to see the prospering ninjas. As there was also some from the Hidden Stone as well. Up in the Kage's booth, they had arrived early as they greet one another. Raikage Dano, Kazekage Dano, Hokage Dano. Their greeting was formal, nothing too touchy or much. The last time the Raikage and the Hokage had a talk was the Hyuga incident. But that seemed to not be coming up anytime soon now. It would make the situation rather awkward. The Kazekage seemed to be rather calm. As Harrison felt something off, the man was wearing a veil, not showing his face. But he brought his two guards. The Raikage only had one guard. The other one seemed to have snuck off somewhere, as no one seemed to have noticed that, or if they did not really say anything. The Raikage seemed to be quite content. His shinobi can handle himself after all. He was no mere shinobi after all. As Naruto stood in the center of the arena, along with the others around, as all of them are here on time, Kakashi was warned not to make Sasuke late. This was a rather special event. Seeing all the people here, as Naruto glanced toward the stands, everyone was up there. A lot of them. He saw his mother, he saw his aunt Kushina, all of them are up there. As someone bumped him in the shoulders, he turned to see Sakura. What? Nervous? She asked. As Naruto shook his head. More like excited, he said, with a smile on his face. She chuckled as she knew that he wouldn't be nervous. But she was also feeling a bit excited to show these people what she was capable of. She might not be from a big clan or anything, but she's gonna make her mark today. Alright everyone. Hayate was supposed to do the finals, but the man decided to hand the reins over to Genma, who wanted to be in the center show. As Naruto noticed Hayate was up the stairs. Behind him was Yujito, as she wasn't in her envoy uniform or anything. It seems that they were here together as a couple. As much as he liked his sensei, she was happy with Hayate, and Naruto was happy for the both of them. Maybe one day he will find his princess, he thought to himself. As he glanced around though, trying to find if any of those guys were here, especially the one that fought him. He didn't even know what his name was. He just zoomed in and zoomed out. Yeah, that was a good name for him. Zoom, Naruto thought to himself. Alright, Genma said. I know what you're all here for, but before that, as he pointed towards the Hokage's booth, Hiruzen stepped out. As he cleared his throat, he then proceeded to give a speech, welcoming them all towards the finals of Chunin exams, explaining to them the reason of the Chunin exams. It was a substitute for war, to keep the peace amongst the nations. Well said, the Raikage said after he was finished. Why thank you, Hiruzen said, in a formal manner as usual. Well then, let's not keep us in such suspense. I'm sure everyone would like to see the upcoming matches. Well, the proctor should be starting up right now. As I was saying, said Genma, I'm sure that all of you are here to watch the finals of the exams. The people upstairs cheered, as they're rather loud. Well then, let's not waste any time, shall we? Let's begin with the first match of the exams. Sakura Haruno versus Temari of the Sun. Naruto patted her on the shoulder. You got this, he said. She smirked, being a bit cocky. No doubt about that, she said. As Temari merely scoffed. As if, she said. As the others told her to, well, win this. As they made their way up towards the booths where the contestants were supposed to be. Are both fighters ready? Asked Genma. Both girls nodded. Begin! As Temari narrowed her gaze towards Sakura. That little sound trick of yours was rather impressive back in the preliminaries, but I can assure you, by the time you see the third moon in this fan, it will be over, she said. Well then, said Sakura. Bring it on, as she clenched her fists, as she was wearing gloves on her hands, as she tightened said gloves. Her hair was tied back into a ponytail going down into her back, as she was wearing black shorts with a pink skirt. The color seemed dull though, as she was wearing a red jacket, white shirt underneath. As she readied herself, her kunai holster on her hip, shuriken holster on her thigh. Temari narrowed her gaze as she brought her fan up, but instead of opening it up, she launched a kunai towards Sakura, which Sakura proceeded to knock away with her own. As Temari jumped forward and brought her fan down, Sakura moved. The fan cracked the ground. Sakura leaped back as Temari opened the fan and jumped, before she swinged it, the first moon showing. Sakura then flipped back as she proceeded to go through hand sign, Earth style. Earth wall, she said as she slammed her hand down. A wall built up in front of her as she blocked the wind. She hid behind as the wall started to chip away and break away. Temari opened her fan once again and swung. This time the wall exploded, but Sakura was nowhere to be seen. It was then that Naruto glanced up. There Sakura was. Her mouth was open as she was releasing that sound wave of hers, and it was keeping her suspended into mid-air. She used the distraction of Temari breaking her wall to cover the sound. Temari saw what she was doing as she proceeded to swing her fan upwards. Sakura released the pressure as she dive bombed. The moment her feet touched the ground, which she used chakra to cushion, she shot forward. But Temari shot her fan and brought her like a bat. Sakura flipped over it though, just in time in mid-air. She reached out and grabbed Temari by the back of the ponytail and yanked her down towards the ground. Sakura then brought her foot around as Temari moved her head. The ground cracked as Sakura stomped on it. Temari rolled out of the way though. As she pulled her fan out, "It's over," she said. Windside Jutsu! She released a massive gust. Sakura opened her mouth. As she screeched, the two pressure collide as they start to release a violent sound in the arena. Only for Sakura to keep on screaming. Even to the point as blood came to her lips, she did not stop. It blew right through Temari's sound attack. Temari's eyes went wide as she was hit viciously. She hit the wall as Sakura rushed forward. She looked down as she used another sound wave out of her mouth to reach Temari within seconds as she blasted herself. Temari's eyes went wide as Sakura slammed a fist into her stomach. Her eyes rolled back in the back of her head as she collapsed. Her fist hit home and Sakura was already durable. From what Snedy taught her, she was a lot stronger than before. Temari was trying to savor her chakra for what is about to come, and she didn't use some of her more devastating technique. Not that Sakura did everything that she could do, but Temari made a mistake by holding back against Sakura, and that was her downfall as she was knocked unconscious. Winner, Sakura Haruno! As Snedy and Naruto cheer along with everyone else. She was a Konoha Kunoichi after all. Well, it seems the standards for Konoha Kunoichi is raising. I thought after the last poll for Kunoichi, said the Raikage as he glanced towards Snedy, there wouldn't be another one. As he glanced down towards the girls. Well, what can I say? My village is always surprising people, said Hiruzen, a proud smug smirk on his face, as he liked how Sakura dominated that fight. The Kazekage said nothing after all, that was his daughter, Boatman believed. Up in the contestant booth, as Sakura returned, as Naruto congratulated her on her wins, she was smiling at all the praise that she got. All of her training was pulling off quite well. The next match was Mito versus Samui. Naruto turned towards Mito, who had a sword sheath on her back. Her mother has been teaching her Kenjutsu after all. Kushina was one of the best swordswomen within Konoha. She was the one that taught Yujito after all. Mito wasn't an expert, but she knew enough as she started to love the art of a blade. But her mother didn't deem her ready until a few weeks ago, when she was finally able to pass all of her tests regarding Kenjutsu. Kushina had a smile on her face, as she was rather happy to see her girl strutting her stuff, making her way towards the arena. She was ready. The other girl though, the Kumo ninja. It was no secret that Kushina didn't really like Kumo members after all. Once she was younger, they tried to kidnap her, and from that she had a hatred for them. Not to mention what they did regarding Hyugas. So she never trusts or liked any of them, regardless who they are. It just was something that stuck with her. As Genma asked him if they were ready, The both of them nodded. "Nice blade," said Samui. "Well, thank you." As Mito pulled out her blade, the handle was red like her mother's. It had a black trimming going around it. The blade was a pristine silver that glistened. Samui pulled out her short tanto as she gripped hers in reverse. "Let's see if you know how to use it," said Samui. "Well, let's," said Mito. Both girls move as they start an elegant kinjutsu dance. Sparks were flying everywhere by the time they came to a stop 15 minutes later. Both girls were panting, surprised that the other one was able to keep up for so long. There were several slashes on Mito, arms mostly, and one across her cheek. Samui had a few scratches, but not as much. Samui was more expert in the blade art. She's been wielding a blade since she was a mere child. And Mito she didn't start as a mere child. So Samui beat her in that regard. But still, Mito did not drop her blade, as her wounds started to heal. Slowly, but they were healing though, due to the fox inside of her. You can think of that as an unnatural trait. After all, Samui could not heal, and not to mention, Mito was a Uzumaki. She had more stamina. So she moved once again as she clashed with the girl. Raw brute strength and force, overpowering agility and speed. As Samui was getting rather tired as Mito was dominating the fights, slashes and slash, until the both of them break apart. It was then that Mito decided to go into a different expertise as she pulled out a tag. These tags were red. The right Kage raised an eyebrow as he'd never seen these tags before. She was then able to throw one. It immediately stomped down to the ground, like it paced on it. Samui watched the tag curiously, unaware of what that did. But then Mito started to run. Samui kept her trained eye on her as she realized the girl was trying to get behind her, but she refused that from happening. But all of a sudden Mito threw her blade right towards Samui. Samui deflected, batching it down to the side as Mito appeared, fist thrust forward. How foolish can this girl be? Samui brought her blade up and sliced right through Mito's hand, only for her to poof. As her body poofed to reveal a clone. It was then that she looked around towards one of the trees. Turning her gaze, that is when she saw it. Another one of those notes on the trees. She glanced over and saw another one. Two chains then erupted from the earth as Mito leaped out, throwing one of those other tags up in the air. Samui's eyes went wide as she threw several kunais towards the girl. But Mito could not move as she used her left chain to block 3 of them. The 4th one slashed her arm rather badly as Mito winced. But her other chain was holding on to the tag as it slammed right in front of Samui. "Now," said Mito as she flashed to hand sign, "Fuinjutsu." "Binding field," she said. Samui's eyes went wide as she felt the force. It gripped her so tightly as she slammed into the ground. What the hell? It's piggybacking on your chakra. You're the only thing within the center that has chakra. And it's not gonna let you move until you surrender. And if you don't, I can detonate them. "You're bluffing," said Samui. "You think I am," said Mito. "Are you willing to risk your life on that?" Samui grit her teeth. "Fine, I give," she said. As the proctor came over, "Winner, Mito Uzumaki," the people started to cheer. The Raikage was rather frustrated, as he said nothing this time. It was only the Kazekage and the Hokage that was talking. Fuinjutsu was always the art that he hated. That was the same reason why the 3 nations that came together to kill the Uzumakis because of their damn Fuinjutsu. And now this girl was showing that she had great control over the art, something that infuriated him to no end. He didn't like it. He didn't like it one bit. Mito came back up, a bit worn out. Fuinjutsu took a lot of chakra, and not to mention her Kinjutsu battle. She had to send chakra to her legs to keep up with the girl. Samui was incredibly fast. But still it worked, and she won. She would have some time to rest though before she dived back into anything. As Naruto's name was called, they wished him good luck as he made his way down there. The girl walking beside him as he felt that feeling once again. It was then that he noticed a cord around her neck. She was wearing some sort of necklace. There had to be one of those green gems on it. She noticed him looking towards her chest. "See something you like?" she asked. "No, not really," said Naruto. She thought he was talking about her chest, but that wasn't what he was talking about. "Bastard," she said, as Naruto raised an eyebrow confused, as he didn't understand what the hell just happened. He was feeling the effects of that green rock. It wasn't that it did so much to him, especially when it was that small, but still. They were becoming a hindrance around him. As they arrived towards the arena, this was a defined moment. This was said to be the next Senju Hoshirama. People start to whisper. That is why all of them are here. The granddaughter of the daimyo was on the edge of his seat to watch the events that were going to take place. Finally, she get to see him. Finally. Everyone was curious as well. After all, the last powerful Senju, not including Tsunade, was the two brothers, Hoshirama and Tobirama. Hoshirama being the main focus. They want to see if this child can live up to the legacy of Hoshirama Senju, and that was a huge shadow. But this girl was no ordinary girl after all. The right Kage had picked her specifically, and things had worked out in their favor. She was not to hold back one bit. She was to show the other nations the might of Kumo, to show them that Kumo was powerful, and thus she had to tap into the power of the Nibi. "Are you ready for this, kitten?" said Mantabi. "Of course. It's my mission after all." "Alright. We've been working on this for some time now. This is no time to get stuttery and mix up our intentions. You'll have to pull off a full transformation. However, you're gonna have to kill him, you know that, right?" The Raikage orders were direct. His mother is not a normal person from what you've seen. "I know that, but this is my job, as I said. And I have to do it. There is no losing here. One of us is gonna die. Either him or me." Yujito took her job really seriously, as a fellow Kumo ninja. As both her and Naruto looked towards one another. "Are the both of you ready?" As Genma could feel the intensity of the girl's gaze, but Naruto was calm as usual. "Alright, begin!" Everyone went quiet as they watched. Even Orochimaru, disguised as a Kazekage, was watching intently. As everyone watched, Yujito wasted no time as her nails elongated. As she moved, she left after images as she moved, pushing her speed to her absolute limit. She was not here to diddle or waste time. She slashed at his face, but he ducked underneath it. She was stunned that he was able to catch her like that. She slashed at him once again, but he dodged. She then went into a series of slashing, but he dodged each and every one of them. Like he was seeing what was going on before they even happened. Could he predict her moves? No, that was not it. Was he just naturally fast? That was insane if it was. In this stance, Zoom was very angry. Never before had he been such humiliated. He idolized Orochimaru, and he wanted to prove to the man that he was, well, able to do the job that was given to him. And yet that brat beat him so badly he had to run back home. He saw the disappointment in Orochimaru's eyes. He was furious. He wanted to humiliate Naruto. He wanted to make him suffer. So he did more research. And the way to make him suffer was clear as day. His eyes focused on one person in the crowd. Tsunade Senju, his mother. Evil thoughts were on Zoom's mind, as he was going to make Naruto pay by stripping everything away from him, starting with his mother. As Zoom's head was covered by a cloak, he has never been able to see someone literally beating him before in his speed, so it was shocking. He was not taking it well. However, he was making a mistake by going after Tsunade. He was going to do something that will forever change his world. But let's just watch and see down below. Yujito was getting more and more pissed off. "Is that all?" said Naruto. His tone infuriated her. He was cocky. She could not touch him. "I know you're holding back. Why not give it all to me, said Naruto as he spread his arms. Come on, give me an actual challenge. You want a challenge, she said in a sweet tone. Yeah, said Naruto. Well then, remember once you're dead, you asked for it. When I'm boom, her body exploded into flames. The perfect transformation went off. Up in the stands, the man with the shades watched as he watched. The massive Hellcat started to form. The people gasped in shock. As the Raikage smirked to himself, the two-tailed beast emerged right in the center of the stadium, its tails whipping around, hot blue flames radiating off its body. It stood in front of Naruto as it roared. Naruto here blew back, but instead of being afraid, a wide grin stretched on his face. So you wanna dance, kitty? Well then, let's dance. The thing launched as Naruto jumped forward. But guys, be instant right here. If you wanna see the next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also, guys, stay tuned for the rest of what's coming your way, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. But I'm all for now. Remember to stay tuned. Peace, guys.